Hi there. I'm a part of Katie's system, and I'm here to talk about how day one of our healthy coping challenge has gone. We've been having trouble making this video actually for the last little bit because we're still struggling to cope with some triggers that came up on our channel in response to a video we posted yesterday about the hashtag walkaway movement. It got more attention than we expected, and some of the comments we received have thrown us off a bit today. But that was all the more reason for us to practice coping tools, and we're actually super grateful that we started this challenge right after we posted that video, because it's now helping us deal with that. So I'm just going to talk about the 6 coping tools that we randomly selected yesterday to do for today and how that went, and then I'm going to talk about the coping tools we've selected for tomorrow and how we intend to put those into practice. So last night we selected to just stand under hot water. So not like take a shower and shave or anything, but just meditate under the water and chill. We selected watching a safe movie, but we said last night that we thought we might substitute something else for that because we weren't sure that was a good idea. We went ahead and substituted meditating on Louise Hay affirmation cards. We selected drinking water, journaling, basking in the sun, and doing mental grounding exercises. That's the last 4. So let's see, one by one, how did this go? Just standing under hot water was really helpful. We put on a music playlist to go with it. A playlist of our favorite Coco Rosie songs, which we'll put in the description below. They're an awesome band. They help us heal and cope so much. And that really helped because we were struggling to deal with some of the comments on our channel, and it really helped us to just kind of wash off the negative energy and get centered. For the meditation on Louise Hay cards, I meant to bring the card that I selected for today just randomly out of the pile. But it was about not being critical of others and giving love and compassion and understanding that what I give, I receive. So it was about sending out positive energy to others, sending out compassion, and understanding how I will be receiving that same compassion back. I thought that was really cool. It was really fitting for today, as that's what I was practicing all day with people in the comment section of that video, and something I try to do in general. But my actual meditation on that didn't really work out because someone called us asking for help with something, and so we decided to put it aside and go help them instead of doing the meditation. We'd actually gone to the park in order to try and do it, but it just didn't work out with the timing. So we're going to try to do this at some point, if not tomorrow, then in the next few days, and kind of make up for it. The next one was drink water. We have been trying really hard all day to stay hydrated. We've gotten dehydrated a lot because it's super hot where we live right now, but we have been noticing when we're dehydrated pretty quickly, quicker than usual, and drinking as much water as we can without getting sick. That's something we have to do because we have chronic acid reflux and just general stomach problems, problems with nausea. Speaking of that, I just burped. See? Jesus, I'm sorry. It's embarrassing. We have to limit our water intake at one time, so we have to have a little bit at a time. And so that's something we actually did successfully today, and we're really happy about. The next one was journaling. Journaling went, well, we did it. We didn't do it for very long because we were actually overwhelmed from some stuff that came up during the mental grounding exercises. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But we did allow parts to come out and talk a little bit through pen and paper, and specifically let child parts talk about boundary issues they've been having with others in the system. The next one was basking in the sun. It was super hot out today. We didn't really want to sit for too long, but we did sit at the park for a bit later in the day, And we did go for a walk earlier in the day, so we got some sunshine then. That was really healing and really helpful, even though we did get overheated because we are ancestrally from the north of Europe and just don't do well in this climate. And the last one was mental grounding exercises. We're going to talk a bit about this. We explained what exercises we were going to do for this last night in our last video about this whole thing, the introduction to this series. But we'll kind of restate what happened. So we tried to do this twice before we were able to do it somewhat successfully. We tried to get aware of what altars were present, and before we could even get aware of their ages really, or where we physically were in the body, we dissociated. But the third time, after we wrote it all out on the whiteboard like we said we would, and sat with it and looked at it, we started being able to connect and track better. And what worked for us was to let the parts answer the questions in part. So like name a couple altars who were present and then be like, and I'm too overwhelmed to look deeper, let's move on. And when I kind of flowed with it and let them set their boundaries and just tap into awareness a little bit, we were actually able to get through the whole first exercise. The second exercise, to name objects around the room and or identify their colors. We tried to do both, name them and look at colors, but again, we were pretty overwhelmed and we didn't get very far. We did, however, come in contact with some delta altars who were triggered by the exercise, and so that's given us an opportunity to heal. And sorry I'm talking fast. I'm still really anxious and activated from, like I said, some of the comments on that video. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, and then the final exercise for mental grounding, to take an object and describe it, possibly pick it up and notice how it feels. That we didn't get to do. We were too overwhelmed. But the mental grounding exercise, the first one specifically, really brought us in touch with this sense of higher awareness, like this sense of being in our body. It was really intense. We felt parts come into the body and merge with us, whereas they'd been previously dissociated and out of body. And it was like we felt a lot heavier. And part of the exercise for us was to not just become aware of our physical location, like our apartment and the city and the state, but to become aware that we were on planet Earth and that we were in the third dimension of the multiverse, or at least if you don't want to call it that, because there's so much more going on interdimensionally than just what we can see here in this moment. We at least kind of got aware that we're in a seemingly limited physical reality within the infinite. And that was really, really anchoring. We imagined the Earth from a kind of astronomical perspective. Kind of saw the stars, the black sky. It really helped us to recognize how small we were and just get anchored, to be both in the body and kind of seeing things from a higher perspective at once. You know, just as an aside, that's something that causes us a lot of grief, is that we're so dissociated most of the time that we're not aware that we are on a planet that is in the universe. Like, we don't think about it. We don't think about the fact that we're actually on Earth, hurtling around the sun in a solar system in a universe. We don't think about the stars. We don't think about any of that. And for someone who's been so passionate about astronomy their whole life, specifically when they were a child, that's just depressing. And so we're not trying to shame ourselves. It's something we become aware of from time to time, that we really need to pay more attention to where we really are and just how small we really are and just how small our problems really are. Ironically enough, recognizing that gives us a lot of compassion for ourselves, more awareness for ourselves, and more ability for us to actually be present with ourselves in the here and now. it's weird. It's like the more we realize how small we are, the more love we really have for ourselves. So to wrap up, I'm going to talk about what numbers I drew for tomorrow. And first I'm going to say that we actually have plans to go with our neighbor and our partner out of town to explore some surrounding areas. So we may have limited time, but we are going to be able to do some of these things while we're there, some of those things before, and try and do them after. But we're not holding ourselves to such high standards because we may be gone for most of the day. So the numbers that we drew correspond to doing yoga, playing with our stuffed animals, standing under hot water, watching funny YouTube videos, drinking water, and drinking herbal tea. So we got two of the same things. And we've actually set it up so that we can do some of these in the evening tonight and then finish it tomorrow. So really we just have kind of the next day. So our intention is to do yoga tomorrow. If we're going to do it, it's probably going to have to happen in the morning. To play with our stuffed animals tonight. To stand under hot water tomorrow in the morning. To watch funny YouTube videos tonight. To keep focusing on our hydration from now until the end of the day tomorrow. And really, that's just going to be a practice that we're going to try to do better every day. And we're going to, for the herbal tea, we're going to try to do that tonight because it just gets so hot here so fast. We should really do that around nightfall. Okay, so these are my plans. Like I said, right now I'm still activated, but part of that activation isn't just those YouTube comments. It's actually what getting grounded has brought up for me. And that is just part of this. That is why we have avoided doing this stuff so much, is because getting into our body brings us even more in touch with our trauma, which can make us even more overwhelmed. So tonight we're definitely going to keep doing self-care. We're going to also focus on hygiene and cooking ourselves a nice meal and doing something nice for our partner to get out of our head. Thanks.